The ancient legend of the Phantom Wagon, Africa. Long ago, in the wild and untamed lands of South Africa, there was a place shrouded in darkness and mystery, a place known to the locals as the Ghostlands. Ancient maps marked this desolate region with ominous warnings, and even the most seasoned travelers avoided it whenever possible. Despite the legends, 4 brave men set out on a journey through these haunted lands, determined to cross them by nightfall. Their path was long and treacherous, taking them through rugged terrain and thick forests. As night fell, the men felt a strange chill in the air, though it was a warm summer evening. The wind howled through the trees, carrying with it whispers of forgotten souls. Their horses, once strong and fearless, began to act strangely. They became restless, their eyes wide with fear, and suddenly they stopped, refusing to move any further. No matter how much the men urged them forward, the animals remained frozen in place, trembling as if sensing an unseen danger. The travelers were confused and concerned, but before they could figure out what to do next, they heard something approaching from the darkness. It was faint at first, but soon grew louder, the sound of thunderous hooves pounding against the earth. The men looked into the distance and, to their horror, saw a massive wagon hurtling towards them. The wagon was drawn by 14 black horses, each more powerful and wild than the last, their eyes glowing with an eerie, unnatural light. The wagon itself was old and battered, its wooden frame creaking under the strain of the horses. At the front sat the driver, a ghostly figure dressed in tattered clothes, his face hidden in shadow. He cracked his whip and drove the horses faster and faster, racing directly towards the men's wagon at a terrifying speed. There was no time to react, and the men realized with growing panic that they were directly in the path of the oncoming wagon. One of the travelers, quick-thinking and brave, leapt from the driver's seat and scrambled to move their wagon out of the way. With all his strength, he managed to drag the wagon off the road just as the phantom horses thundered past. As the ghostly wagon came close, the man called out to the driver in desperation, "Can't you see where you're going? You're going to kill us." The driver turned his head, and the man caught a glimpse of his ghastly face, pale and twisted with a malevolent grin. The driver's voice echoed through the night, cold and full of dread, as he replied, "I'm headed to hell." And with that, the entire wagon, horses, driver, and all, vanished into thin air, dissolving into the darkness as if it had never been there at all. The men were left in shock, their hearts pounding in their chests. What had they just witnessed? A shared hallucination? A trick of the mind? Or something far more sinister? They couldn't shake the feeling that they had come face to face with something from beyond the grave, a legend come to life. But the worst was yet to come. A week later, the very man who had bravely saved his friends was found dead at the bottom of a deep ravine, his body surrounded by the wreckage of his wagon and the corpses of his horses. It was as if the ghostly wagon had claimed its due, taking him to the very hell the phantom driver had spoken of. The other travelers, shaken and terrified, realized the grim truth. They had encountered the fabled ghost driver, a cursed soul doomed to roam the Ghostlands for all eternity. Every now and then he appears to travelers, speeding towards them with his spectral horses. Those who dare to challenge him or cross his path are marked for death. The legend has been passed down through generations, a warning to all who journey through the Ghostlands. No one knows who the ghost driver was in life, or why he is cursed to drive through the night with his phantom horses. Some say he was a criminal, others believe he was a man who sold his soul to the devil. But one thing is certain, anyone who dares to stand in his way will soon meet a tragic end. To this day, there are whispers of the phantom wagon haunting the lonely roads of South Africa, its ghostly horses racing through the night, forever bound to the cursed land. If you ever find yourself traveling through the Ghostlands after dark, beware the sound of galloping hooves. It may be the ghost driver, and if you're unlucky enough to see him, pray you don't become his next victim.